So you've hired someone to perform a service within your business, and now you're left wondering, should they be classified as an independent contractor or an employee? What's the difference, and does it really even matter? Hi, my name is Paige. I am the owner and lead attorney behind The Legal Page. I help small businesses get legally legit in no time without breaking into hives. If simple and easy legal tips are just what you need, please subscribe to my channel. Now, to answer your question, yes, it 100% matters whether you have an employee working for you or an independent contractor working for you. So let's get into the difference between the two and how to prepare for tax season. Difference number one is employment laws. So employees are covered by federal and state labor laws, such as unemployment insurance, wrongful termination, workers' compensation, probationary periods, and so on. Independent contractors, however, are not employees, and they should be independent, as stated in the title of the name. And they are not covered by federal and state labor laws whatsoever because they should be operating their own independent business from yours, and they're just merely working for you on a project basis. And one extra little tidbit here is that a safe working environment is necessary regardless of whether you're employing a contractor or an employee. Difference number two is what happens come tax season. You, as the employer with someone working for you, need to report to the IRS whether you paid someone as a contractor or an employee. But there are differences here with W-2s versus 1099s. Let's start with W-2s. Almost all of us know what W-2 world is. It means that your employer is sending you a W-2 at the beginning of the year for the previous year's work and all of the income you derived from working for them, and then you're going to report that income from your W-2 on your personal tax return. As an employer, all you need to do is make sure that your payroll service or your CPA is running W-2s correctly to your employees at the beginning of every year. And then, of course, you're going to deduct all of your payroll as expenses for your business. Now, sending independent contractors 1099s is a little bit different. Let me explain. So you are going to send a 1099 NEC form, non-employee compensation form, to anyone that has made over $600 from you within a year span. And you're only going to do this for direct deposit payments or bank-to-bank transfers. Remember that the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 changed the laws for 1099s. So for 2022 and moving forward, anyone that you have paid over $600 to via PayPal or any type of payment processor, you're paying with your business credit card online, you absolutely do not ever have to send them a 1099 NEC form. It is the responsibility of these payment processors to calculate anyone who has made over $600, and they will be issuing 1099-Ks. As an employer, in order to properly send out 1099 NEC forms to your independent contractors, you need to request a W-9 form from them. I always suggest just doing this sometime at the end of the year, probably last week of December or first week of January, notifying them that you need this form so that you can issue them their 1099. Now, as an employer, both W-2s and 1099s need to be issued by January 31st of every year. Also, take note that an independent contractor can later become an employee for your business if you wish. They just need to be set up on payroll with a W-4 and an I-9, and then they'd be issued a W-2 instead of a 1099 form. If you're appreciating this content, be sure to hit that like button. Difference number three is payment. How are you paying these workers? So employees have regular pay periods, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly is the most standard way to pay as an employer, and they can earn an hourly rate or a salary. You also need to have unemployment insurance set up for all of your employees through your state, and you need to have workers' compensation insurance. Workers' compensation insurance is really important legally speaking because it is often considered an exclusive remedy for job-related injuries, and it would give the employer immunity from any type of lawsuits, and the employee would go straight to their workers' compensation instead for all of their medical costs and damages from getting hurt on the job. And the good thing about workers' compensation insurance for your employees is that they don't have to prove fault in order to recover. So for employees, those are all of the expenses that you have to consider when paying them. For independent contractors, it's a bit different. To pay an independent contractor, those contractors actually need to send you an invoice to your company, and then you will pay that invoice, whether that's via direct deposit or it's just through their invoicing system. The invoice is key here for legal purposes for them to actually be considered an independent contractor, because if they're not invoicing you and they're just clocking hours and sending you maybe even timesheets, they look an awful lot like an employee, and you don't want that. Difference number 4 is withholdings. So for employees, you're going to withhold payroll taxes every time you run payroll. This includes federal income taxes, state income taxes, Medicare taxes, and Social Security taxes. For independent contractors, however, payroll taxes are never withheld. Those contractors are responsible for reporting their income correctly to the IRS and their state government every year when they file their business tax return or their personal tax returns. So all you need to do as the employer is pay the exact amount of their invoice to a contractor when they send it to you. Difference number 5 is agreements or contracts. For employees, you as the employer must offer those employees an agreement to sign to work for your company. These contracts are going to include things such as the compensation, hourly or salary, probationary periods, termination requirements, and whether they need to notify you 14 days in advance is usually pretty common. Also, you can include confidentiality clauses and potentially non-competes depending on your state laws. Independent contractor agreements have information in them related to compensation, whether that's on a project basis or a set amount per period. And then they also have information in them related to scope of work on a case-by-case basis. So there's usually no guaranteed hours for contractors. Also, a work made for hire clause is very important for copyright purposes and intellectual property purposes for your business when you're hiring an independent contractor. And then, of course, you probably want to include a confidentiality clause because those contractors are still going to come in contact with confidential information when they work for your business. And finally, within the termination clause, of course, independent contractors can come and go at their leisure, but you can qualify some type of notice standard within this clause. And I highly recommend it so that they do give you probably about a month's notice so that you can find someone else to replace them. If you're looking for easy to use templates to hire employees or contractors, we here at the Legal Page have those for you, and they are linked in the description below. We've established how to stay legal in your business by classifying workers as either independent contractors or employees based on key differences. But did you start your business legally from the beginning? To make sure you can answer that question, please watch this video that popped up on the screen. I will walk you through exactly how to legally start a business. I'll see you over there.